What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fall Like an Eagle podcast. Week 11 already in COVID season. Time is going by quick, and it seems like it's going by quicker with COVID in effect. But let's not talk about COVID. No depression tonight. We're going to be on for about an hour tonight. We're going to let you guys call in, give your thoughts and opinion about this Sunday and the overall season as it's playing out so far. We'll put that up in about 10 minutes, but I'm going to start off by saying, listen, I'm going to Cleveland this Sunday. It's going to be rainy as hell. There's a curfew in effect from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., which means I can only drink in a bar up until 10 p.m. Then I need to go back to my hotel and drink with my friends in my room until I pass the fuck out. So that should be a lot of fun. But with that said, do I think we're going to win this game? I'm going to be honest with you. No, I don't think we're going to win this game. I don't think we're going to win any other game on the schedule. I personally think the only team we'll beat remaining is the Washington football team. That's literally it. I think that Dallas is actually going to beat us. I just have no hope in this team whatsoever. But with that said, I'm going to be looking at some key factors in this game, whether we win or lose this game. I'm going to look at how Carson Wentz plays the quarterback position this week. My eyes are going to be in on him the whole game, whether he has time to throw, whether he doesn't have time to throw, because we need to assess his future. Going into next year, I don't want a guy who's mentally broken, which there are reports coming out that his mentality is just crushed. It's done. It's gone. And if that's so, you got to look for you have to go on and look for another quarterback. You got to possibly go on with Jalen Hurts if that really is your guy. But that is something I'm going to keep an eye out for on Sunday because I don't want Mr. Joe Schmo fucking up this team anymore. This team is way too talented for a quarterback to keep regressing and every game be on him every single time. And we need someone to make a play on 4th and 16 and not throw 8 yards like he did last week to pretty much finish up the game. That was despicable. With that said, I'm going to bring in Mr. Zach Harris tonight, who is obviously happy about the New York Knicks pick last night. I have no idea why. He's from Dayton. Who gives a shit? But anyway, Zach Harris, how you doing?
Good. I didn't think we were talking Eagles because you started out with the whole COVID and let's not get into depression stuff. And then you're like, all right, let's talk some Eagles. So for me, depression, Eagles, COVID, it's all the same right now. It's just been horrible this season. But yet somehow we're flying through it, like you said. For me, this is absolutely a big game because anytime you have the public trashing you that much as a team, as a quarterback, as a coach, you know, that should light a fire under your ass. So let's see how they come out. Let's see, you know, if we're going to see a different team. This could be the chance to turn around. Like, you know, Brandon Graham came out and talked about how they have some sloppy stuff going on practice. He didn't really specify if it was offense or defense. I know there was a report about they have bad practice habits, but once again, we don't know if that's Carson. We don't know if that's the offensive line, whatever the deal may be. Defense, you know, Brandon Graham said, let's hold each other accountable. Getting a lot of trash talking about him. You know, you're grown men. Do you want that? You're grown men. Come out and play like grown men. So I think that's what I'm most intrigued about. For me, I've been reassessing Carson Wentz. Everybody wants to call me a Carson Wentz lover. Listen, I'm going to love whatever quarterback is leading this franchise because guess what? This is a quarterback-driven league, and right now he's part of the problem. But if you don't think he's part of the solution, then you haven't watched football your whole entire life because That's what quarterbacks do. They're part of the solution. For me, Carson Wentz isn't trusting his offensive line. He isn't trusting his weapons. He needs to learn to throw guys open and not wait for guys to get open. And I talked about last week how, for me, one of the biggest flaws this team has is Carson's talent. Let's not get it twisted. Carson Wentz has elite talent. He just hasn't played anywhere near spectacular. But for me, it's like this team just relies on him. Hey, let's just go out there and have you win us the game. And then Carson at the same time, his biggest flaw is his elite talent. He relies on it way too much. He tries to extend plays that don't need to be extended. He tries to sling balls in there when balls shouldn't be slinged in there. He's not anticipating throws. He's not throwing guys open. And that's just a trust issue. At the same time, it's also a coaching issue because this offensive line has been shuffled and reshuffled. And one of the ways that you can help this offensive line is to throw layups, get Carson Wentz in a rhythm. Tom Brady has made a career getting in rhythm on early, short passes. Let's do that with Carson Wentz. Let's be honest. Carson Wentz is not a guy that's going to just sit back in the pocket and dissect the defense. He's not Drew Brees. He's not Tua Tagovailoa up to this point. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He needs to get out on the move. He needs to be able to see the field better, and that's the best way to use him. To try to make him a pocket passer for whatever reason, if that was a Howie decision, if that was a Doug decision, or if that was a Carson Wentz decision, which I don't think it was because this kid's a competitor. He's not going to take unwilling hits for no reason, even though he has because he's been extending plays for no reason. This guy's been asked to play hero ball. He plays hero ball, and we trash him for it. I can live with interceptions. If you anticipate throws, if you try to throw guys open, you throw interceptions, I'm okay with that. But when you're extending plays and you're putting a ball on the ground when the play's dead, I can't live with that. If you're turning the ball over on our side of the field, I can't live with that. If you want to throw interceptions because you're trying to take a shot deep, you're trying to open up the field for the running game, you're trying to open up the field for the passing underneath game, I can live with that. But right now, he needs to start anticipating throws. Doug needs to call a game where the offensive line isn't sitting back there trying to protect him for 4 seconds because nobody's getting open. Nobody's getting schemed open. He's not anticipating throws. So let's start out with some layups. Let's get him in a rhythm and see where we go from there. And also the deep ball has been severely lacking as well. And I think that's something that's really hurt Doug Peterson's offense because we've seen it when Deshaun went down last year. We're seeing it with no deep threat right now, even though Jalen Reagor has speed, even though Travis Fulgham can go up and high point a ball deep down the field, they just haven't done it, and we need to start taking shots.
You know damn well they're not going to start off with a layup. You know damn well that Carson Wentz is going to want to make a play because he plays a hero. This is exactly why there have been anonymous sources coming out of the locker room to reporters saying that this guy is a piece of shit teammate. They don't like him. And honestly, I'm starting to believe it. Because this guy literally on the field is all about himself. He could be a humble Christian man all he wants. He could go hunting because it's in the Bible. I understand that. But at the same time, when you have multiple sources coming out of the locker room saying that this guy isn't a good teammate, chances are he's not a good teammate, and we're seeing it at firsthand. Now, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what literally you just said, that we got to start off fast. We got to start off with a layup. When was the last time we started off with a layup, especially when it's going to be rainy, cold, and miserable in Cleveland against one of the, I don't know, most overrated teams in the league? Like, honestly, I just don't see it. I mean, I would love to see them start off with a layup. I would love to see them get 7, but I don't see it. I personally can see this team not winning another game for the rest of the year. But I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer this week, number one, because I'm flying to Cleveland and I'm going to the game for the 5th time. And second of all, I do want to see Carson Wentz succeed. But I'm not ready to crown the guy and say this guy's going to be up to play because every single time I look at the guy, it looks like he's sad. Like you look at his face, it looks like he's sad. It looks like he's just miserable. Like he just doesn't want to be there. You know, that's the difference. You know, it doesn't matter if his offensive line gives him 4 seconds to throw the ball. He'll run to the left, to fall, fumble the ball against one of the worst Cowboys teams I've ever seen in my life. This guy just doesn't get the concept of football anymore. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be proven wrong. I just don't. I mean, I would love to say that Carson Wentz is going to have a future with the Philadelphia Eagles. But the future right now is on Sunday. And I just don't see how he how he comes up to play for a game when he hasn't come up to play for a game against the Cowboys, the Giants, and the Washington football team in the second half of that game when they're really bad teams. Now, is Cleveland a great team? No, they're not. I think Baker Mayfield sucks. But with that said, I just don't see how he comes up to play for this game when he didn't come up to play for those games. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just I don't understand. Like, I understand why people love Carson Wentz because they like to live on the Super Bowl year with 2017. He was so flashy. I mean, I'm looking at Russell Wilson on TV right in front of me. I took Seattle, by the way, so I'm a little pissed off. But look at Russell Wilson on TV. He sees no one down the field. What does he do? He uses his legs to create separation. And when he sees someone get open, if he's beyond the line of scrimmage, he tosses it to DK Metcalf in the end zone. He uses all of that time to look down the field. He doesn't use all that time to, like, use tunnel vision on one player. That's what Carson Wentz does. He has tunnel vision. He doesn't see the whole field. He looks at the right side of the ball, not the left side of the ball. He never looks at the left side of the ball. That's the problem I have with Carson Wentz. Tunnel vision is key in the NFL. And if you have tunnel vision in the NFL, you are not going to be a good football player. He needs to fix his mistakes, and he needs to fix it quick, or else he's going to be on the short bus out of here. I hate to say it, but the guy has regressed that much to the point to where I don't think he could overcome it. I really don't.
We're going to get into the game in just a second, but I want to touch on that real quickly. I'm in a delivery business. For me, you know, my boss kind of helps me, tells me what to do. But most of the part, I'm out there, I'm doing my own thing, and it's a fast-paced business. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to compare it to being a quarterback by any means, but my advice to Carson Wentz is this thing that I invented. I call it executive decisions. You know, it's up to you. You go with something, you just go with it, because at the end of the day, you know, it's just a game. At the end of the day, it's just whatever you're delivering. You know, mistakes happen. So pick a decision, live on that decision, just go with it. Just make an executive decision and go with it. Don't hold on to the ball too long. You know, if you're looking for your first read, anticipate the throw them open, get them open. If you can't see that side of the field, you know, feel free to roll on out, but don't sit there and hold on to the ball for God knows how long. I was listening to, I forget who it was. Maybe it was Mark Schlereth. And he's like, listen, no matter how many times Carson pats that ball, it's not going to burp. It's not a baby.
I hate to interrupt you right now, but this throw that Russell Wilson just made to Tyler Lockett is a throw that Carson Wentz could never make. And the fact that we're talking about Carson Wentz right now just goes to show you that Carson Wentz at one point was labeled the MVP of this league. And now it's like, who the fuck would label him the MVP of this league? Look at this throw by Russell Wilson. That is textbook elite quarterback right there. Look at this throw. Double coverage. Only the wide receiver could catch that ball. Only the wide receiver could catch that ball. That is the perfect quarterback right there.
Kind of like throw to Boston Scott to win the game.
Oh, you talk about the New York Giants? Not even close to that. Not even close to that.
Yeah, that's right. It was better.
Did they miss that field? Oh, great. Now I'm not going to cover the point spread. Beautiful. But what were you saying?
I think that throw was better than this one to Lockett. He had beautiful touch on it, don't get me wrong, but Carson Wentz put it exactly where it needed to be on that throw. But listen, all the issues with this team, with the play calling, with Carson Wentz, they're fixable. They just need to go out and do it. They just need to do it. Then stop talking about it. Stop going in pressers saying we need to play better. You know what? Play better. Practice what you preach. You know what? Practice how you're going to play. Let's do it. Now let's get into the game. Let's figure out what it's going to take to win this game. What are your big issues with this game? And what is your main concern going in?
Well, the biggest issue and the main concern that I have going into this game are comments like these. Doug is more of a problem with this team than Carson. In my opinion, no, he is not. Are the play calls there? Not really. But at the same time, any Eagles fan that isn't so attached to Carson Wentz right now would realize that Doug does not know how to coach Carson Wentz. In 2017, Carson Wentz was so elite and he had a great team around him that he didn't even need to be coached up. He could find plays open on the field because he had his wheels. He doesn't have any wheels anymore. Doug is good at coaching a very slow quarterback in the pocket that stands there like a statue because he could run the RPO. Carson Wentz is one of the worst at running the RPO. That's why he doesn't do it. So saying that Doug is more of a problem with his team than Carson, I completely disagree. And there's another thing you have to understand, Nikki. Doug is not going anywhere. When a coach wins a Super Bowl, they get a 5-year window no matter what. No matter what. So he has at least 2 years left with this team. Even if he misses the playoffs this year, he has 2 more years. This is between Carson and the GM right now. Who's going to go? The GM or Carson Wentz? GM. Doug's staying no matter what. Doug won the Super Bowl. He has 5 years here. Because after 5 years, that's it. You have a 5-year window. Because the Super Bowl is the cream of the crop. It's the top. You can't go any higher than that. So when people say they want to get Doug fired, you have to go back and look at the Super Bowl. Like, he won the Super Bowl. You guys have been dying for a Super Bowl your whole life. He won the Super Bowl for us. So he's not going anywhere, And he's definitely going to be here much longer than Carson Wentz if Carson Wentz continues to play like this. But going into the game, if I'm being completely honest, the thing we have to look out for the most are the tandem Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, I believe. And that is going to be defensive line has to come to play because we all know our linebackers suck ass. They can't cover a fly. And we just need to rely on our defensive line this week because if you let Baker Mayfield scramble on you because he's a mobile quarterback and we can never cover mobile quarterbacks when they run away, that would be a big problem because they have a lot of speed on that offense. Now, do they utilize the speed well? No. But why not start with a perfect situation against the Philadelphia Eagles, because we are one of the worst defenses in the league against mobile quarterbacks and tandem, the best 2 tandem in running back. Well, not best, but like one of the best in my opinion, Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. So if you wanted to start off with a quick start against us, just run up the gut and see if our defensive line comes to play. If not, just have Baker Mayfield run all over you through the sides, up the middle. Like, you could do whatever you want with Baker Mayfield, but Baker Mayfield, in my opinion, sucks, so it won't really matter. But the biggest concern is definitely the running back tandem, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, by far.
100%. If you take a look at the top yards per carry in this league, there's only 2 people ahead of Miles Sanders. Mm-hmm. One's a quarterback playing right now. The other is Nick Chubb, who averaged 6.1 yards a carry. Absolute beast. And then you have a change of pace back in Kareem Hunt. These are both number 1 guys playing on the same team. And, I do disagree with the fact that you think that Baker Mayfield's mobile. I mean, he can move, but he's not mobile.
He can run.
Not really, because you take a look at the beginning of his career and why he struggled so much and why they thought he was labeled a bust immediately is because, in college, you can do things that you can't do in the NFL. In college, there's not as many athletes that there are in the NFL. In the NFL, everybody can run a 4.7. You got linebackers running 4.7. So he can't outrun everybody. And that was his main concern, is that he tried to do what, you kind of see with Carson Wentz right now, where he relies too much on his quote-unquote athleticism, and it doesn't work. He's not as fast as he would be apparent in college. So for me, it's keep the ball out of Baker Mayfield's hands, keep it in the running back hands. If you're the Philadelphia Eagles on the defensive side of the ball, you want to do the complete opposite. You want to stop the run. You want to get them in 3rd and long situations. You want to get after Baker, and you want to try to make Baker throw the ball. The only wide receiver I'm really concerned with is Jarvis Landry, but he's a possession receiver. He's the guy that you're going to look out for on those 3rd and longs when you get the 3rd and longs. So for me, it's you got to stop the run. You absolutely have to stop the run. Kevin Stefanski has done a great job at making Baker manage the game. But, this is really a team that's keeping the ball away from Baker. They don't trust Baker. You've seen it with Ryan Tannehill in the playoffs last year. They lean on the run game because they don't trust their quarterback. So at the end of the day, you have to put it in the quarterback's hands if you're the Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Right. What are your thoughts on signing Jordan Howard? I didn't think we signed him. I think he came in for a workout.
He's signed to the practice squad.
Okay, so that means he could come up at any time. He was really bad this year for the Miami Dolphins. So, I mean, I don't know if he could do us any justice. Last year I said I didn't want to resign him for that. Because, honestly, he was asking – I feel like he was asking for way too much money for us. And, honestly, I felt like we should have went ahead with Miles Sanders and see what he had as a feature back. I didn't want to bring back Jordan Howard because number one, he always got injured, and number two, I just felt like he was kind of getting up there in age. What was he, 25 last year, turning 26?
I think so, something like that.
I mean, that's not really getting up there in age, but at the same time, I just feel like he regressed. So I wasn't sold on Jordan Howard, but maybe he could find a new kick with us. Who knows? I don't know. But
the problem is we need a bruiser back, and Jordan Howard was supposed to be that guy when we signed him, and he really was not able to get the third and shorts, second and shorts, and that's what ultimately led to us going, you know what, we're going to feature Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is coming back healthy. He looked good last week, and once again, I feel like we're saying this every single week. Stop abandoning the run, Doug. Art Scott or Boston Scott had that huge run, that 60-yarder touchdown, and then we didn't go to him the rest of the game. Miles Sanders showed great instinct picking up a ball after Jalen dropped it and ran for 6-7 yards out of it.
Wait, hold on, Zach. Well, you know nothing about spelling. All right, go ahead, Zach.
That's okay. It just clowns commenting on shit, so whatever.
That's all right. Listen, I'll go back and forth with them all day. I can.
You need to get the run game going. You need to stick with the run. I was listening to the interview with Doug on WIP or whatever the hell the local Philly station is. And Doug was like, yeah, I think we had a 50-50 play call. Maybe you need to go back to that tape again because it wasn't a 50-50 play call. You didn't run the ball the same amount of time as you threw the ball. Not even close. You abandoned the run late in the third and fourth quarter, which is absolutely ridiculous because the game was still within hand. You brought it within 4 points and you abandoned the run. Come on, that's still a game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and actually, this is a really good comment. I'll even go as far to say the Philly fans are at least realistic about their sports teams than any other major city. The reason why I bring up this comment, that's actually a pretty good comment, is because I'll give you an example. We're going to veer away from the Eagles just for like a minute. Last night, the Philadelphia 76ers made a couple of sketchy moves, in my opinion, to dump Al Horford's contract. And a lot of fans were like, yeah, he's out of here. We gave away a first-round pick in 2025. We gave away our first-round pick, or our second first-round pick last night. We gave away a second-round pick, and then we gave away a prospect from overseas, but we dumped his contract. Yay. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, we did all of that to drop a contract? Like, are you serious? We got back Danny Green. Danny Green sucks. So, we did all that to drop a contract. I guess in hindsight, it's a good move because Al Horford's out of here. But at the same time, it's like you go down the road, 2025. Who says that Ben and Joe are still here? They could walk at any point. I feel like if LeBron James leaves, I've called this from day one. When LeBron James leaves, I feel like he's going to go I feel like Ben's going to go to the Lakers to replace him. So I don't understand why people are liking that, but whatever. That's for another day. But going back to the Eagles, that comment was on point. We are really unrealistic about this team. The city is really unrealistic about the Eagles. They're trying to see Jesus rise again in Carson Wentz, and we haven't seen anything for the last 2.5 years. So anyway, I'll go back to you, Zach. I'm sorry about rambling on.
No, you're good. At the end of the day, they need to release some of the pressure on this offensive line, whether it's the play calling or Carson Wentz. I would say it's a combination of the both. Doug needs to call plays that are going to be quote-unquote layups, and Carson Wentz needs to take those layups and really get this offensive line feeling good about themselves because, like I said, we've had only one time the same starting offensive line. Every other time it's been a different combination of offensive line. So for me, you got to take pressure off this damn offensive line. Mm-hmm. They're new. They're still trying to get cohesive together. They're still trying to gel. And one of the ways to do that, to take pressure off them, is get into the short passing game, make quick, decisive decisions, something that we haven't seen from Carson, but something we haven't seen out of the play calling either. So I would say it's 50-50. You put it in Doug's hands to call the play, and you put it in Carson's hands to make the right play.
Right. No, I agree with everything you just said. The offensive line, everyone wants to bash on the offensive line, and that's another problem I have. Everyone wants to bash the offensive line for not giving Wentz a ton of time to throw the ball. Well, the offensive line isn't full of elite players. A ton of our players are injured. Lane Johnson just got back. Brandon Brooks is out. Honestly, I think Brandon Brooks is our best offensive lineman, and he's been out for a while. I mean, all these players are fill-in players, and you're expecting them to turn garbage into gold overnight. And then you don't put any of the blame on Carson Wentz when he actually does get time to throw the ball. That's the problem I have. Everyone wants to just point at the obvious. The offensive line is bad. Well, no fucking shit, it's bad. Nobody's in there for us. So
that's the cop-out. That's the easy thing to say instead of dissecting what the issue is.
It's too easy because everyone knows that the offensive line is injured. So why would you go right to that? It's like, yeah, the offensive line isn't playing bad, but do you see who's playing? Like, Jesus Christ, give him a break.
I would never say Tom Brady had the greatest offensive line in New England Patriots era, but he got rid of the ball quickly. Same thing with Peyton Manning. He got rid of the ball quickly. Like I said, executive decisions. Make a decision, go with it, live with it. Just throw the damn ball. Wherever you decide to go with it, just go with it. Don't be indecisive, just go.
And on top of that all, any elite quarterback, you guys want to label Wentz elite, all right? Any elite quarterback should know that this offensive line isn't that good. That means he has to get rid of the ball quicker and make quicker decisions, which he doesn't do. He doesn't do it. So, I mean, you guys want to blame the offensive line, that's fine. But if you see this big ass motherfucker coming and trying to take your lunch money, just throw the ball away. It's that simple. And he's just a big dummy, but it is what it is, I guess.
My favorite play from last week that Doug dialed up and the team ran perfectively was the 4th and 1 play where Rager came for the wide receiver screen on that 4th and 1, got it out quickly, put the ball in your playmaker's hands and let him go make a play. We need to see more of that. We need to see that with Rager. We need to see that with Miles Sanders. We need to put balls into playmakers' hands and let them go make plays. You know what made the San Francisco 49ers so successful last year is the fact that they were able to run the ball, number one. And number two, they let their wide receivers or their weapons, because Kittle there as well, they let him eat. They let most of his passing yards, most of Garoppolo's passing yards, over 50% of them came from yards after the catch, highest in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that's what we need. We need to get the ball in the playmakers' hands, let them go make a play, So we've been lacking that for, I would say, quite a few years now.
Yeah, we have. You just nailed it right on the head. But, I know it's a little bit early. We're obviously going to be on here for an hour, but what do you think about the game? Like, do you think it's going to be a high-scoring game, low-scoring game? Do you think that both teams are going to go back and forth because the defenses are like what's kind of suspect? Or do you think that the Eagles could actually win this game?
I absolutely think the Eagles can win this game. I think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be probably mid-20s because it's going to have crappy weather. You got a decent defense on the Browns side, and you got a decent defense with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's all going to come down to pressure from the defensive line. Who can get more pressure? Can you get more pressure from the Browns front, or can you get more pressure from the Eagles front? And that's really what it's going to come down to. And good, clean football. Obviously, the Browns with their run game, and see if the Eagles decide not to abandon the run game.
Right. Hey, Zach, out of 36 games, the Eagles have put up less than 25 points in 24 games with Wentz starting 2018. Interesting stat there. What do you think about that?
Very interesting stat. Who was part of the offensive guru group in 2017, the year before you pulled up that stat?
Frank Reich.
Exactly.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good stat. At the same time, you can't. I don't know what it is. People want to go back to just taking criticism off of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz looked so great in 2017. Does it really take someone like Frank Reich to make you a better thrower? I don't know. I just look at things differently. I look at it like, do you have to have that? Does he have that much of a fragile mind to where he needs the perfect play caller for him to succeed? And that's the thing. That's the thing I see. Maybe he does have a fragile mind. Maybe he does. And he just doesn't work well with Doug Peterson. And Doug Peterson is obviously the offensive coordinator and the head coach. It's weird, man. It's really weird.
Or maybe you just need an offensive coordinator that's going to call a game that's really suited for your talents instead of trying to make him a pocket passer. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. Out of these 36 games, the Eagles with Wentz put up less than 20 points in 15 games with Wentz's QB. Holy shit. Yeah, I remember there's actually a game I remember in 2018. I remember when we were 13.5-point underdogs against the Rams when Wentz got injured and Foles came in, and we just lit the Rams up. And the Rams went to the Super Bowl that year. We just lit them up like they weren't even there. And that just goes to show you that week before, our team did not look that good. We went to Dallas, we went to overtime with Dallas, and we lost. And the week after, we looked like a completely different team. It's weird. I'm starting to think that maybe it is Carson Wentz. I really am. I feel like that this team just doesn't mesh well with Carson Wentz. Either they don't mesh with him or they just don't like him. And it's weird. The chemistry completely changed that game. And I keep asking myself that question. I'm like, how the fuck did it change into our favor so in such a positive way? And maybe it's because people just don't like Carson Wentz. Like, they built the shrine for Nick Foles. Where's the fucking shrine for Carson Wentz? It's a weird one.
All I know is Carson better not have a fragile mindset, because Eagle fans aren't going to let down anytime soon if you don't get going very soon. So for me, like I said, executive decisions, live and die with the decision you make, and let's move forward. Practice how you're going to play. That's all you need to do. Practice how you're going to play. Go out there, make executive decisions. Don't try to stand on one read. Anticipate throws, throw guys open. Doug Peterson, call a game that's going to help them. Get them in rhythm. Get them nice, easy passes going early. Too often we've seen slow starts. Why do we have slow starts? Because on 3rd and 8, we're deciding to take a shot down the field. Or, we're not running on 1st down. We're running on 2nd and 10. And you get behind the sticks really quickly. Nobody's going to be mad if you fall forward. Every good play is a good play. So what I mean by that is, really, you just need to stick with positive yardage. So if you're in 2nd and 8, don't try to throw 20 yards down the field. Take a look at it as, all right, I got 2nd and 8, then I got 3rd and whatever it may be. So let me try to get in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 instead of, 2nd and 8 to 3rd and 8, or 2nd and 8 to 3rd and 15 because I took a sack trying to do too much. Really just try to continue to move the sticks, even if we got to be slow and methodical like we've seen 2 years ago where, it was really boring, where we got 15, 16 plays, 70 yards, field goal, 70 yards, touchdown, whatever the case may be. We got to do what we got to do. You got to help Carson. You got to help this offensive line, and you got to help with the coaching. That's really what you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. Danny Lukenheimer said the knee injury killed him. Yeah, I've been saying this all year. I've been saying this for the last 2 years. Ever since he injured his knee, he couldn't move out. A lot of people are saying he's an out-of-pocket passer. Well, they're trying to make him a pocket passer because he can't roll out anymore. He can't run, and when he does roll out, it's like he re-injures himself. That's why he can't do it. He has a bum knee. Like, it's never going to recover. Either that or he's just scared. And if you're scared, well, adios, amigos. You can't be scared in the NFL. I'm sorry. You got to put on your big boy pants. Take off the Pampers and put on your big boy pants if you're scared. It's just that simple. Stop being a bitch. You're getting paid $100 million if you're scared. That's a lot of money. A lot of people don't make $25,000 in a year, all right? And this guy plays a dream job in the NFL. Like, how many people could say they were a quarterback in the NFL? Oh, we have a phone caller. All right, phone caller, first of the night.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
It's KJ.
Okay, what's up, bud?
It's KJ. Hello?
All right, thanks for the call.
Yeah. Wait, what was he trying to say?
I don't know, but he wasn't saying anything. So if you want to call back and actually say something, feel free to call in 518-539-4911.
Yeah, we want your guys' opinions on this because, we say the same thing every single week about Carson Wentz, that he's kind of a bum now. So we want you guys to give a rebuttal why he's not a bum, because until I hear something with some substance, I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again, and I know how annoying it is. So until someone who loves Carson Wentz over the team says anything different with any substance, I'm going to keep saying the same thing.
I understand what you're saying about how not wanting to roll him out of the pocket because his knee injury, they're trying to make him a pocket passer. But look what he's doing anyways. He's trying to extend plays. He's always running out of the pocket on his own. So
and he looks like a retard doing it, Zach.
So exactly, why not dial up plays for his strength. Let him get out of the pocket. You don't need to run a 4.4 to get out of the pocket.
The dude looks like a blind giraffe. Like he just looks like a big doofus. Especially I keep going back to the Cowboys play. Like, my God, that was one of the worst plays I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen an elite quarterback make that play, ever. That was bad.
I also seen him roll out 2 plays against the Giants where it got him 40 yards. So,
hey, Nicholas, you can call on if you want. Listen, we want people to rebut off of what I say. That's the whole point of the show. He said, if you think Wentz is a bitch, go look in the mirror, buddy. Well, I'm definitely not a bitch, all right? I'm not a woman. But my definition of bitch and my context of bitch is that he plays like a woman. Now, I know that sounds like really sexist and wrong, and I'm probably going to get chewed up alive for that, but I don't give a fuck because he plays like a woman who can't play in the NFL.
I think they need to not be afraid. They need to open up the playbook. They need to release Wentz and get him outside on the pocket because at the end of the day, he is better outside of the pocket. If you can roll the pocket, it's also going to help your offensive line. Like I said, you need quick decisions, and that can come outside of the pocket. So for me, it's just continue to do what I'm saying, and it's going to help this offense, and you're going to score more than 20 points.
Right. Yeah, that's the energy. Who gives a fuck? Exactly. Carson Wentz has the worst contract in the NFL. Bingo. He's not that bad. That sounds like Andy Dalton bad. He's not as bad as Andy Dalton. I'll say that much. I'll give you that. But from what I've seen out of Carson Wentz the last 3 weeks, I don't know. To me, he's like a bottom 10 quarterback right now. That's just how I feel about it. If I'm being honest, he's not worse than Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton looked fucking terrible. But he's not playing like a $100 million quarterback. Just my opinion.
He's playing competitive. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, does he have the worst contract in the NFL? Does he?
Is he playing competitive? Do competitive people play for the safe play, not go for the home run when they're down 7 points against the New York Giants, who were 2-7 at the time, on 4th and 16 and throw it 8 yards when you need a big play?
Because
is that being competitive?
Yes, it is.
It's not. No, it's not. It's 100% not, Zach. If you're checking the ball down for 8 yards when you need over 16 and you need to stay in the game with no timeouts, that is not being competitive. That's not at all. That is one of the – I'm not going to say it's one of the worst plays I've ever seen, but the fire from Carson Wentz is gone. It's gone. Because if he didn't care about making a turnover or taking a sack or fumbling the ball or throwing an interception when you need him to make a big play, he would have threw it down the field and tried to make something happen. He didn't. That's not the spirit of a competitor. I'm sorry, Zach. I completely disagree with that.
Because of one play.
That's not being a competitor.
Because of one play, okay.
That was with the game on the line. It's not just one play. That was with the game on the line. We had no plays after that. He threw 8 yards when we needed to stay alive. That's what I'm trying to say. By the way, Lori Strode, I'm going to the Browns game.
Down 10?
Huh? Down
10 with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, we needed to make a play.
We needed to make a play before that when Travis Fulgham dropped the ball. We needed to make a play before that when Miles Sanders dropped the ball. Is that being competitive?
We were still in the game. We still had a shot.
Being competitive?
We still had a shot.
Okay, but is that being competitive?
What's your definition of being competitive? This is the first time I'm ever disagreeing with you. One of them actually. But I don't see where the word competitive and Carson Wentz correlate right now. I don't see. I'm sorry if I'm just so down on the guy, but yes, that one play that I looked at last week is the definition of him not being competitive.
Okay, so we're harping on him for taking shots and being ultra competitive, because ultra competitive to me means the fact that he's rolling out of the pocket, trying to extend plays, taking big hits. The whole game. What do you mean when?
I was streaming the game. He was playing to not turn the ball over.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
No, I don't want you to just say I'm right just to shut me up. I want you to give me some clear factual evidence that he was trying to make anything happen last week. I was watching the whole game. He looked fucking terrible. He looked bad. He was playing one of the worst Giants teams I've ever seen. They're a very bad football team.
Okay, but this whole season he hasn't been competitive. He hasn't tried to be a competitor.
Are you talking about the Ravens and Pittsburgh game?
I'm talking about the whole season.
The whole season? No, I don't think he's been competitive. No, I don't.
Okay.
If you put all the games together, I don't think he's been competitive.
We'll just leave it at that then.
All right, Danny Lukenheimer, what's the number calling? It's 518-539-4911 if you want to call in.
Now, is Carson Wentz's contract the worst in the NFL? No, because it hasn't even started. Hasn't even started yet.
That's a fair point. Point.
He got paid. He got the signing bonus. I'll give you that. But his contract technically doesn't start until next year.
That's a fair point.
So right now, it's not the worst contract in the NFL. If he plays if he plays like this next year, then, maybe we're going to sit there and say, hey, he's got the worst contract in the NFL. But right now, they really just tried to get ahead of the situation because you see Dak Prescott wanting $40 million. You see Patrick Mahomes getting over $500 million. The reason that they signed Carson as early as they did to try to get him on the cheap, and they believed in Carson, obviously, this year has not shown that belief, but that's why they did it. And it starts next year. So we'll see.
Mark William, I agree with this comment, actually. Carson tore his leg apart to score a touchdown. He didn't even need to run into the end zone on that play. He had 3 different wide receivers open. Remember that? I do remember that. It was one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen. Now he sees ghosts. He was competitive versus the 49ers this year. That I will agree with because I won a lot of money on that game. And he threw it right into the arms of Travis Fulgham. I remember that one. I agree with you on that one. And we got a phone call.
Fly Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's
Danny.
What up, Danny?
Oh, God. So I'm gonna get to Carson Wentz in just a minute because Kyle is 100% right. But yeah, that game against the Giants, that was a disaster. I mean, I kind of had a weird feeling that we were gonna lose, but I was still disappointed. But it is what it is. I think this game this week is a must-win because of all the noise going on with this team. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we won because I don't think Cleveland is very good. But I wanted to call in to talk more about, the big picture of this franchise because the 3 most important people to an NFL franchise are the GM, the head coach, and the quarterback. And usually when a franchise isn't doing that well, it's usually because one or more of those people aren't doing their job. And the problem with this team is that I think the GM, the coach, and the quarterback are all a huge problem. Some more than others, but I'll start off with Howie. I'm going to get to Carson Wentz last because I think he deserves the most blame, and I'm going to explain why. But I think Howie deserves a lot of blame because, he's just done a really – I can't stand the guy. I just he's done such a poor job of constructing this team, and he hasn't drafted very well, and he's allowed this team to get older. He's backloaded a lot of contracts. I just find it so funny how everybody calls this guy a cap guy. And yet, what are we, like $60 million over the cap next year? So he's just not done, a very good job. And listen, I know that a GM can't hit on every draft pick, but I don't know. I just don't really care for the guy as a GM. As far as Doug Peterson goes, I still like Doug Peterson. Like, I do think he's a good coach. I just don't think he's a great play caller. Like, I think his play calling could be better. But I just have more of a problem with his in-game decision-making. I just think he goes for it too much, when he shouldn't. The 2-point conversions are stupid. I do think, I heard Zach talking about this, how they rely on Carson Wentz's talent. I think they should just try to take the ball out of his hands more, or just get the ball out of his hands quickly, try to run the ball. I thought he should have tried to run the ball more last week. And so, yeah, I think they definitely try to put the ball into his hands way too much. And I'm going to get to Carson Wentz because he deserves the most blame. He does. And the reason why is because he's being paid like an elite quarterback, and he's performing like one of the worst quarterbacks in football. You can sit there, you can blame the play calling, you can blame the talent around him, but at some point the guy's got to be better. I mean, with the amount of money he's being paid, he's supposed to be the best player on this team.
And Danny,
Danny.
And people seem to forget that weekly that he gets paid he's going to get paid over $100 million for the next 4 years, with $108 million guaranteed. Guaranteed. All right, people seem to forget that. They think that that's just little money. That's sprinkle money. That is a lot of fucking money to play as bad as he's playing at the position. But go ahead.
Yeah, I watched him play, and he's not as mobile as he used to be. I mean, we all knew that, because I was watching his highlights from early on in his career, and he just doesn't have the same speed or explosiveness that he used to have. I haven't seen him do. I remember there were a couple times that he used to spin around, and he just can't evade pressure like he used to. He doesn't have the same speed he used to have. Like, I don't want him to go back to what he was in 2017 because he's not going to, because physically he can't. I just want the guy to be better. His instincts are so bad. Like, and people can sit there and say, I'm picking the guy, but listen, he's the quarterback of this team. Like, it's a quarterback-driven league. It just feels like when I sit back and watch him play, it feels like every time, and people could say I'm nitpicking, but again, he's the quarterback of the team. It feels like every time we need him to make a play down the field, he checks the ball down. And then it feels like every time we just need him to take what the defense gives him and check the ball down, he plays hero ball. I just think his instincts are just all off. You know what I mean? Like, every time he should be doing something, he just does the opposite. So people can sit there and say I'm nitpicking the guy, but he's been terrible this year. I hope he can get back on track, but I don't know. I'm just really concerned about this team's future. So hopefully, we come out with a good game plan against the Browns, and hopefully we get the win. So I think a lot of people debate about who's most to blame between Howie, Carson, and Doug. I think they're all to blame, but I kind of look at Carson and Wentz, and I feel like a lot, especially on YouTube, and I'm not going to say the YouTubers' names, and again, because I don't live in Philadelphia, so I don't know what people in the city think, but it just feels like a lot of people avoid saying that he's not playing well. I know there's some fans that are really harsh on the guy. I know you're a big critic of him. I'm not as big of a critic of him as you, but I definitely see where you're coming from. And guys, it just feels like he's declining. It's sad because I was such a big fan of this guy early on in his career.
Well, Danny, let me bring you up there for a little bit. The reason why people don't criticize Wentz as much as they should is because, number one, they feel like he had a lot to do with that Super Bowl where he did win a ton of regular season games. But you know who else won a ton of regular season games for us? Donovan McNabb. It takes a really special player to win games in the playoffs, and he never played. You never saw him in the playoffs. And the one time you saw him in the playoffs, he got hurt, and he was 1 for 4 for 26 yards to start the game. So you could do great in the regular season. Sure, that's fine. But if you don't play well in the playoffs, does it really matter? That's my point. The thing about Nick Foles, and I don't want to touch on Nick Foles anymore because he is gone, but the thing about Nick Foles was whenever you needed to win a big game in a big moment, he did it. So that's the one thing that people just don't understand. Like, Carson Wentz did have a great year that year. He would have been the MVP if he didn't get hurt. I understand all that. But at the same time, we don't know what he would have done in the playoffs if he didn't get hurt. Was he on his way to win the Super Bowl? I think he was playing great. I do. But you just don't know. You don't know if he would have played well in the playoffs. And if he would have lost in the playoffs, the excuse would have been, oh, it's only his sophomore year. He's going to be great for us for years to come. Just completely dismissing it. That's what the excuse would have been. It's a sophomore year. We got further than we expected. That's what it was. And that's the thing that I see that other people don't see. And that's the honest truth.
Yeah, well, I'm only 19, so I saw McNabb towards the end of his career. I saw the NFC Championship game, but I know I thought McNabb was really good, but obviously you're right, he didn't play well in the moment. I can understand why. Listen, I want Carson Wentz to succeed. When I hear Zach, I hear both sides to the argument. I think part of it is I've been so high on the guy in the past, and he's just regressed. I'm just really hard on the guy. I just think we need to hold him to a higher standard. That's all. I mean, we need to hold everybody to a high standard in the organization. And, I hope the guy turns it around, and I hope he succeeds. Because I don't see it like Jalen Hurts. A lot of people talk about handing the franchise, which I do think they drafted him because they're concerned about Wentz. Because I think they're worried about his durability and his level of play is going down. But I don't think he's really an NFL quarterback. I mean, I could be wrong. Great athlete.
No, you're right.
Sure. So
you're right.
I don't know. We'll see. But I'm just, I can't believe how bad Carson has regressed.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I saw him come back, well, actually, the first game I saw him come back against the Colts, he kind of looked like his old self But after that game, I don't know, like physically, I don't know, eye test wise, and people can bring up stats and this and that. I mean, I've always said that. I think I was listening to the show at one point, and Zach said, like, stats are like bikinis. They reveal some things, but they don't reveal everything. And that's very true. And actually, I'll tell you this, Carson, even though he hasn't played very well this year, I thought his best game this year was against the 49ers because he made some of those big plays. And, he had that big throw to Fulgham. And even though his stats weren't flashy, he did enough to win the game. That's what I want to see Carson do, just not make mistakes. Even though I don't think he can run like he used to, still like get out of the pocket. And, I just want to win. Part of it is we're not winning, and I look at the whole organization, but I just think the quarterback is really hurting the team. Especially because you look at like against Washington, we were up 17-0, and he throws 2 horrible interceptions. A lot of games this year, he's just taking away momentum from the team. Just like the Rams game the week after, we were down 21-16, and he throws it in double coverage. So
Danny, you know what they say. The sayings in the NFL: winning cures everything. So if you win, you're right back on the path. If you lose, well, you're still down Schitt's Creek without a paddle. It's just how it is. So I mean, winning would cure everything, but I don't know. Right now, I'm just kind of down on it.
Yeah, me too. There was I'm not going to say the YouTuber's name, but some of these Eagles YouTubers, I like a lot of them, but when it comes to Carson Wentz, they just make too many excuses. And that's why I like listening to you, because, you don't. And you're even more critical of him than me. But they were talking about, I think it was after the Giants game, this one big-name Eagles YouTuber said, you can't blame Wentz because of the win. I'm like, are you kidding? Seriously? Like, that's how low the bar is? Oh, the win? He's played in bad weather for years. That's not an excuse.
To be successful in the podcast business, you have to be critical. You have to be. You got to tell it how it is. And a lot of people like to be babied and hear what they want to hear. You got to tell them what they need to hear. Because if you don't do that, every podcast will be the same. That's why you look on YouTube. Everyone's so nice and dandy. And they're like, oh, how's your day going? Do you want a bib for your fucking drool? Like, you look at those podcasts and everyone's so nice. Well, I act like a douche on camera sometimes, not all the times. I act like a douche on camera because I need to tell you guys how it is. This is how it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right? This team is not very good. Actually, they suck. All right, Carson Wentz, not very good. He sucks. Doug Peterson right now, not very good. He sucks. I'm not going to just draw up something and say, oh, we can win this Sunday because I'm an Eagles fan. No. I am not like those other content creators. I tell you what you need to hear, and that's all you got to know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll win. Well, I don't know. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like we're going to win this. I hope we win. Because I want to win every single game, but I also try to be realistic because we have a rough schedule. I mean, The other thing, too, is I wanted to talk about this a little bit earlier. Our linebackers, I've never seen a team with – these linebackers are so bad. I actually know one of the linebackers that plays on the team, though. He went to my high school. He's a little bit older than me, but I actually graduated with his sister, TJ Edwards. So, but he was undrafted and I live in Illinois. He went to – What were you saying?
The whole line is really bad. TJ Edwards, Singletary, and when Nate Gary was in there, he was just really, really fucking bad. So, yeah, I mean, they never value the linebacking position, and this is the year we need it the most when our pressure isn't getting to the quarterback. And it's just exposing the shit out of Howie Roseman right now. But I don't know. If I were a GM, the first pick next year for us, like someone's saying Jamar Chase season, I wouldn't go away from that because he's a stud, but I would go linebacker with our first pick. Like, I truly would. I'd go linebacker, first pick. That's what I would do. Because we haven't had one in such a long time, So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And we did let Jordan Hicks go, and the guy's a stud.
Oh, yeah. I also think we need to get offensive linemen. Our O-line is really old, and that's a big key as well.
Exactly. Well, Danny, we want to thank you for the time. We're going to close up the show in about like like 5 to 10 minutes. We want to thank you for calling in. You're always one of our better callers, the regular on the show. Give it up for Danny, guys. Great call, buddy.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, that was a great call. He had a lot of great insight. And I think he's absolutely right when you say take the ball out of Carson Wentz's hands. Doesn't mean take the ball out of his hands all the time. It means let's lean on the run game and let Carson make decisions when he needs to make decisions. If you lean on the run game, you're going to get into third and short situations, and that's where we should succeed. All right, let's go to this phone call. I Like an Eagle podcast. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Techno Freak.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Kyle?
What's up, bud?
So much, man. I gotta say, great podcast last night, by the way. Great podcast.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Showed to a couple people, man, opening their eyes wide open, man. You took a lot of 3 points last night.
Hey, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of that stream, man.
No doubt. I gotta say, Wentz, man, I'm ready to move on, yo. Like, the guy's a straight trash. Like, I respect the guy, man, but it takes a dickhead of a Hall of Fame quarterback and Brett Favre. It takes asking that guy questions to realize that this man sucks. And I'm not trying to touch him cold, but seriously, Wentz is just, I think he's fucked in the head. He's done for it. Like, he's cooked. No point in having him, like, we're screwed because of that damn contract. The guy's fragile as hell. Like, we're just screwed. Like, if anything, I wouldn't expect Doug to be going after this year, but I really want to see how he's always been going, because I feel like he can fuck up any damn pick. Whereas, I don't know where we're going to be picking next year, but say they do go a linebacker, so it's unlikely because they never value position anyway. Mm-hmm. They're going to probably take the second best linebacker when the so-called first best one is available to outsmart the whole league, when in reality should have took the number one guy that was highest on the board.
They went with Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Fucking dickhead shit, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah, it really is. Very bad. But do you have a score prediction for this Sunday?
I'm gonna take the Browns 23-20.
All right, so you have kind of a high scoring game. All right, well, I'll actually be there. I'll be in the rain. Maybe it'll be fun. I don't know, but it's gonna be rainy the whole time, so that could be another fucked up game. But yeah, but I want to thank you, buddy, for the call, and you're always a great caller. And do you do YouTube videos anymore? I don't know. I haven't seen you lately.
But say again?
Do you do YouTube videos?
No, not recently. Actually considering coming back on. But I'm not sure if I should continue where I left off or just start a whole new regime. I'm not sure right now. But I do want to come back.
All right. Well, you made some really good videos in the past, and I really appreciated your time on YouTube. Thanks for the call, and go back.
All right, cool. I'll probably just text you later or call you later, hit you up about that.
All right.
All right, now, have a good one.
All right, later.
All right, so
Zach is having like the moment of silence over there.
I know phone calls. I sit back. I let you take charge.
Awesome.
I'm not going to say that the Eagles are going to win this game because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm going to say the Eagles can win this game because for the simple fact that this team is one-dimensional. If you could stop the run, you could put the ball in Baker Mayfield's hands, and he's not going to be able to make plays necessarily to win the game. And I think we failed with the run game last week for the simple fact that Danny Dimes is athletic, and for some reason, even though Jim Schwartz supposedly was ready for the RPOs, for some reason, everything just went away from everybody, and you had him running 34 yards for a touchdown. You're not going to get that with Baker Mayfield. So it's going to be a straight-up run game. They're going to try to run through you. They're going to try to juke you. It's just going to come down to our front line, whether it's the linebackers, whether it's Fletcher Cox, whether it's Malik Jackson, Javon Hargraves. I said this last week. I need to see a lot more from all of those guys. All of those guys need to play better. We already trash Carson Wentz. I'm not going to trash everybody else, but everybody needs to play better. Everybody, even including Darius Slay, which I've actually think that, and I know you're not going to agree with me, but I think he's been playing decent, not to the level that we expect him to play, but he's been playing decent, but he gave up a huge play down the sideline.
Most overrated quarterback in the league, but we'll agree to disagree there. Not saying that for the other station over there. Fuck them. But listen, yes, there is some Jordan Howard talk here. All right. Jordan Howard was brought in. They worked him out. I don't think we signed him. I think he's on the practice squad. I think he's literally on a practice squad, and that's literally it. He's been absolutely terrible with the Miami Dolphins. But who knows? Maybe we will bring him up. Who knows? I don't know. But I just think the guy's a stiff, and I don't think he's going to do much. As a Browns fan, I'm not huge on Baker. I mean, there's been games where Baker Mayfield has looked really good. So against us, I wouldn't be shocked if he threw 5 touchdowns. So I just don't know.
If you throw 5 touchdowns, I'm dropping this mic.
Yeah, and you'd break it.
Post game, I'm just gonna drop the mic and walk off the stage.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with a score. I didn't get my score yet. It's gonna be rainy, so you'd think it would be an under. I'm gonna say we lose this game 31-14.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we get blown the fuck out. I don't think we win this game. There's nothing that's shown me that we could win this game. We're going to Cleveland, a dump of a city. It's going to rain. What makes you think that we're going to go to the rain when we couldn't play in perfect conditions? There's nothing there. And they have a lot more talent than the Giants have. Sorry. So, yeah, I think we're going to get our asses kicked in this game. But that is what it is. Anyway, great show, Zach. I know you got mad at me, but hey, listen.
I'm never mad at you.
At least you could take it. There's some people out there that can't take it.
I'm never mad at you, Kyle.
No, that's all right. We gotta disagree sometimes. But yeah, we'll have the post game show right after the game. Well, it might not be right after the game this time because I have to get back to the hotel unless I want to do it back in the rain, which I'm probably not going to risk. I'll probably wait till I get back to my room in the hotel, and we'll do it. There will probably be like a half hour to 45 minutes after the game, so stay tuned for that. But with that said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And I love the conversation in the chat. You guys were bashing me, calling me Kyle Bayless. I understand that, but it's okay. I can take it. I'm a grown man. But yeah, let's get this W. And if we can, that'd be great. But with that said, fly goes fly. And we're out. We'll see you guys later.